Hey, it's another week, another recipe, and we are going to be ringing in 2022 with the original Hoppin John recipe from the 1800s that is for sure going to bring us some good luck. Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Courtney Morris. If you're new here, welcome to the journey. I cook historical recipes that history has forgotten out of random cookbooks I find. I'm so glad you're here for this, and if you are coming back for more, thank you so much for being a loyal subscriber. It's so much fun to be able to interact with you guys in the comments about some of these recipes. All right, so in a couple days, can you believe it? It will be 2022. It is New Year's already. Looking back over the past year, I'm having a hard time remembering what I did. This year has flown for me, and I really hope that next year is better than this past year. So that being said, I am not a superstitious person in any sense of the word, but I found a recipe that is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts for the New Year's season, specifically to bring good luck into the next year. So this recipe is going to usher in the new year with lots of good luck from South Carolina here in the good old USA, and it's called Hoppin John. And it's actually very reminiscent of a black-eyed peas soup that I just kind of make anyways, but this one has historical roots all the way back to 1847, and thankfully from the Carolina Housewife Cookbook, we have that original recipe. There's many variations of what I found as I was doing my research on this one. People put spinach in it, and there's collard greens in it, there's Worcestershire, excuse me if you're British, Worcestershire sauce, I got it, I think. But the original recipe from 1847 is 3 ingredients plus salt, pepper, and some mint. And this is also going to be dinner tonight, so it works out really well. For this recipe, you are going to need 1 pint of black-eyed peas, 1 pint of rice, and 1 pound of bacon. All right, so because most of this takes place over on the stove, I'm going to get my bacon chopped up now, so that I can just move everything, including you, over there. And a lot of more modern day recipes that I've found actually call for a ham hock instead, which I was originally going to do, but then found out that the bag it was sealed in, that in the freezer didn't hold, and my ham hock died. So bacon it is, but who doesn't love bacon? So I'm just gonna chop these up into just small enough bits to eat, but big enough to actually feel like you have some meat in your soup. Okay, so it does not say to fry this up or cook this beforehand. This is just kind of one of those dump in the pot kind of things. So, all right, let's move everybody over to the stove. All right, so we are at our stove top, and the instructions are pretty truncated, but there are instructions. So I think we can kind of figure it out like this. I feel like you can manipulate your water level as needed rather than having to rely on exact measurements, because there are not exact measurements of liquid to this. So it says first put on the peas, which are 1 pint of peas. So American measurements is 2 cups or 16 ounces. It says when half boiled, add bacon. So that means I just need to get some water in this, just that. Okay, so I put in 1 quart of water just to be on the safe side. We're gonna let that boil up. And from what I gather, there is a pretty long history behind this dish and the significance thereof, to the point where I can't remember all the details straight, and apparently there's a couple different versions of it. So I'll link in the description box some links that I found that have the history of this dish that you can go ahead and check out for yourself so I don't misspeak. I would hate to do that and offend anybody. So I'm gonna let this boil for a little bit. I'm gonna check it back in about ½ an hour, and we will see if it's ready for the bacon. One other thing, while I am getting this to a boiling point, this recipe in particular calls for sprigs of fresh mint. And all I have are the ones that I dried from our garden plant earlier this year. So I'm gonna try and reconstitute it and see if it, see if it comes back to any sort of life. And I think I'm going to use it as a garnish because I have never really cooked with mint before unless I'm baking, and it really kind of makes me nervous that the flavor is just going to get thrown off. I'm not going to like it. My family won't like it. So I'm just going to reconstitute this as best I can, and we'll use it as a garnish and see how that goes. And then maybe if we do like it later on down the road, if I make this again, we'll just add it in. All right, so this is where I add the bacon in, which I'm so excited about this because anything with bacon is a good thing. I think I need to put in more water. So this is still cooking, and I'm in the middle of making some cornbread for the side, and I realized that I'm gonna have to put rice in here, and there's no room for rice, so I'm gonna transfer it to a bigger pot because I'm kind of kicking myself because I had thought, let's use this one, make sure there's enough room, and then I saw this one, I'm like, oh, that'll be good. Never is. Okay, I'm going to do this over the sink and off camera because I am assuming I'm going to burn myself and start using words you don't want to hear. Okay, so I switched pots, which was a good idea, added a little bit more water, gave it a little more time, and now I can mush the beans no problem. So now it says when they are well boiled to throw in the rice. Now this was just for the thumbnail, so this has 2 pints in it, so I'm only going to use half of it for 1 pint. Okay, so now this says when rice is boiled for half an hour to remove it from the fire, put it over coals, and let it steam itself. Well, I'm working with a gas fire, not an actual fire, so in this case, I'm just going to turn it down after half an hour and put the lid on and just kind of let it steam like you would cook rice normally. That's my best guess anyways. I will say this smells so delicious. I am so excited about this because it is super cold outside, it's super cold in my house, and I am in need of something warm and comforting. Okay, so I could not be more pleased at how this turned out because this is, first of all, a great experiment, but the second of all, it's dinner tonight and I have no other ideas, so we're gonna cross our fingers and hope it's good. Now the recipe did say to salt and pepper to taste, but I omitted all the salt and pepper in the cooking process just because I like my things more salty than my husband does, so I'm just gonna let everybody season their own. I did, however, put the mint in there, just on top at the moment for garnishment. So I am going to just sprinkle a bit on, kind of mush it around a little bit. I want to get a sprig of mint in there with it. Make sure I've got bacon too. If that doesn't taste like good luck, I don't know what does. That bacon is soft, it's chewy, but really tender, and the rice and the beans just, you know, you can't go wrong with rice and beans, but man, the mint. I am going to chop up the mint and put it in the rest of that. That adds a zing to it. It just pulls all those flavors together in, I don't even know what the culinary word is for it, but that's surprising. That's surprising. That's a good word for it. So one thing I was worried about with this was how mushy it would be because I knew it wasn't a soup per se. I mean, you could make it into a soup really easily, but that's not what this dish is. But because you're cooking the beans first and then you're putting the bacon in and then you're putting in the rice, it's like that's a lot of cook time. And so I was really, really hoping my beans just wouldn't disintegrate and that the rice just wouldn't just become paste. And it didn't. It's got a lovely texture and I'm so happy about this. All right, well, 2022, you can come now. I have made the good luck black-eyed peas. And apparently I do remember this part from my research is after you eat it on New Year's Eve, it's called Hoppin John. And then the next day, your leftovers are supposed to be called Skipping Jenny. And that's supposed to be like, I don't know, double the luck, which I can do that. This made a lot. If you're not feeding a family of 5 or more, maybe half the recipe. This made a lot of food. I love it when these things work out. And for some reason, every single time I get so surprised at just how good simple ingredients are. There are 3 ingredients to this whole thing, plus salt and pepper and some mint. I mean, and I was over there cooking this thinking, oh, where's the onion? I need the thyme, I need the spices, and I would make like my bean soup or something like that. But really, I mean, bacon. It's bacon. That's all you need is bacon. All right, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you try it. It's actually really, really good. It's so simple. I mean, you could doctor it up and look for a modern recipe too, but honestly, the original I am here for. It's a great way to end the old year, great way to usher in the new year, and I really, really appreciate your support and the comments you guys have been sending me. It's been so fun hearing your stories and hearing your memories about some of the dishes I've tried out. Please keep those coming. I really love hearing those stories. Please hit the subscribe button so you can join me on every other excursion I am going to do in the future, and hit the like button. I know there's an algorithm thing that goes something with the like button, but I don't exactly know what, but I know it helps. So give it a like if you enjoyed it. Also, hit the little bell notification. That will give you notices that I've uploaded, which happens every Monday. And I hope to see you next Monday, which will be January. Please feel free to leave a recipe or a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in 2022. Bye.